this. She's #6 bantamweight female in the world. She's a phenomenal fighter, and people are going to screw up at some point. And sometimes, sometimes it's unfortunate when people screw up that it makes headlines. You know what I mean? For me, my mistakes have flown under the radar. I'm not a perfect person. You know what I mean? And no, not as anybody in this room, everybody in the UFC. I mean, no one's perfect, but it's unfortunate that things unfolded the way that they did, and she'll become a better person for it. Peaks and valleys. You got to hit your lows to get to your highs. So I think she'll be all right.
Have you talked to her since the incident?
Yeah, I've talked to her. You know what I mean? And I feel bad because that night, that was the weekend I got home from Vegas, and she called me like, hey, she's like, I'm just in sweats. We should just go grab a drink or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm just gonna go to bed. And now it's like I almost feel kind of guilty because if I was there, it never would have happened. I would have just been like, we're out of here. Let's go. You know what I mean? It never would have happened if I was there. So, there's really not a lot I could say. The police reports out there, the news articles are already done and written and out there for the world to see. But pretty soon she's gonna have a fight and she's gonna beat someone up and everyone's gonna forget about this. So it'll all be all right.
As a friend and training partner of hers, like, how do you offer advice? What do you say to her to help her kind of come back from that situation?
It's tough. I haven't really spoken in depth about it. It was just kind of like, are you okay? Sucks everything's happening, and we touched on it a little bit, but when the wound's fresh, you don't want to really stick your finger in it. So it's like, let time kind of heal everything up a little bit, and then we'll talk, but she, like I said, she's an adult, and I'm only 2 years older than her. It's like, even if I have advice to offer, would I listen? If somebody's just a couple years older than me and they're trying to, this is what you need to do. Sam Cecilia's the only guy that will ever big brother me and tell me what to do, and I'll listen. But that's because I have that one person. I'm not that person to Julie, but I'm always there for her. I love her. She's my teammate. She's my friend. And, like I said, this doesn't define her. People are just forgetting that, everybody makes mistakes. You want to point the finger and be like, oh, she's so bad. She did this. It's like, cool. Tell me something you've done. Because you're not perfect. You've made mistakes. The difference is she got caught because she's Julianna Pena. You know what I mean? So it's people just, I'm not going to tell people to let it go because it's kind of a consequence for everything that happened. But it'll all be over before you know it.
Well, after the UFC 194 event, Conor McGregor talked about coming up to the lightweight division. What do you think about him possibly coming into that division, and what do you make of him as maybe a possible opponent?
As a possible opponent, you will get body locked, thrown on the ground, and choked. He's a big 45er. He ain't a big 55er. That's all I got to say. I mean, I'm not saying that pointing at him. I'm a confident man. I feel like I can beat anybody in the lightweight division. I truly believe that in my guts. And, if he wants to come up to lightweight, I welcome him. Cool, it's big money. If you fight Conor McGregor, you're getting paid. So if he wants to come up and get choked by me, tight, that's cool. I'll take it. I'll take a paycheck. That's cool. I'm not mad about it.
You were talking about putting everything together, and it seems like everything's clicking for you. Is it something that's more physical or mental for you when everything starts to click?
It's always been mental because, as you build as a fighter, you're always going to have your glaring weaknesses, you know what I mean? And I can wrestle well, I can grapple well, but, striking was always kind of my big deficit, and over the years, it's just been a confidence thing. It's always been there. If you watch me spar and watch me hit pads, I do crazy shit. You would never see it coming from me, but it's like, sometimes when you get out and fight, you just like, I'll just stick to what's got me so far, and I'll put things together. And I wasn't really excited when I went back and watched the Jim Miller fight and saw how the exchanges went on the feet. But I've had other fights where I've shown good stand-up. Lozon fight, Jorge Masvidal, I've shown I can throw hands. I've shown I can hurt guys. But you're never gonna have a perfect fight every time. But yeah, things are coming together. It's just been a confidence thing. And John Wood does have a part of that. So it's when you got a guy like John that's a phenomenal pad holder and has a lot of knowledge, you kind of get some confidence from it. But yeah, everything's coming together. And it's also the thing about Rick is he's not just a head coach; he's like a combat counselor. So he's the guy that's like, you got to believe in yourself. You got to look at these things you're doing, and you're not as bad as you think you are. Just throw them things. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to be scared of. Big, long, lanky guy. I got a 76-inch reach. Start punching people. So I got good coaches, and I got good confidence, and it's coming together at the right time.